was 30 years old, and for most people, his life looked normal. He worked in a small office, had a stable job, and paid his bills on time. From the outside, everything seemed fine, but inside, Mark felt empty. Every morning, he woke up before the alarm rang, not because he was motivated, but because his mind was already tired. On the bus to work, he watched people through the window. Some looked busy, some looked happy, some looked lost. Mark felt like all of them at the same time. At work, he completed his tasks carefully. His boss trusted him. His coworkers respected him. Still, when the clock showed 6 p.m., Mark felt relief, not satisfaction. After work, he usually walked home instead of taking the bus. Walking gave him time to think, and thinking was dangerous. Mark often remembered his younger self. When he was 18, he believed life would be different. He had dreamed of creating something meaningful, something that would make him feel proud. But life had slowly pushed those dreams away. There was always a reason: no time, no money, too much fear. So Mark kept saying one sentence: "I will start later." Later sounded comfortable. Later sounded safe. Years passed without noise. Now, at 30, Mark had started to ask himself questions he avoided before. One night, while lying in bed, he stared at the ceiling and whispered, "Did I wait too long?" That question stayed with him. At work, at home, even in his dreams. Fear began to grow. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of discovering that he was not good enough. One evening, Mark stayed late at the office. The building was almost empty. During a short break, an old cleaner sat next to him. The man looked tired but calm. After a few minutes of silence, the cleaner spoke. "You look like someone who is carrying a heavy thought." Mark was surprised, but he answered honestly. "I had dreams once," he said. "I just waited too long." The old man nodded slowly. "I did the same," he replied. "I waited until life decided for me." Mark listened carefully. Before leaving, the man added, "Time does not stop because you are afraid." That sentence followed Mark home. That night, Mark could not sleep. Instead of scrolling on his phone, he stood up and opened a drawer. Inside, there was an old notebook. He had not touched it for years. As he turned the pages, memories came back. Ideas, plans, hope. His heart was beating faster. For a moment, he wanted to close the notebook and forget everything again. But this time was different. He realized something important. He was already uncomfortable, so why not be uncomfortable while trying? The next day, Mark made a small decision. After work, he would spend 30 minutes on his old dream. Not more, not less. The first days were difficult. He felt slow. He felt confused. Sometimes he felt foolish. But he continued. Weeks passed, and something changed. Mark was still tired, but now his tiredness had meaning. He felt more focused, more alive. One evening, while walking home, Mark smiled. Nothing big had happened yet, but for the first time in years, he felt proud, because he understood one truth. Dreams are not limited by age, they are limited by fear. If you feel late, remember this: you are not late. You are just at the moment where courage matters. Start small, start scared, but start, because the biggest regret is not failing, it is never trying.